Every day is the fair around here. We got her in school, now we homeschool. Yeah, we've got not just one, we have 6.
Just finishing up our morning breakfast meeting. It's like 80 degrees out right now. It's amazing. Oh, I'm so overwhelmed right now. I just sat in this breakfast meeting and just stared at Cammie.
I know, maybe I should have helped you more because I was like, come on, come on.
We talk about our schedule and it's, usually I just keep my head down and I'm just focused on the day. And then in these meetings, it causes me to like look ahead and it kind of freaks me out a little bit. Because we have so much stuff happening all right now. We're supposed to be planning this fall feast party at our house, which might be smaller this year. That'd be kind of nice. And then I just realized today that next week I'm going out of town, but I'm not entirely sure where. I haven't like arranged anything or booked anything. So I'm supposed to be doing that right now. I just feel behind. We just stopped by our friends Brian and Annie's new house. They moved like 2 blocks away into a house that they bought.
It's really nice.
Cool. Look at that. What did that thing do? A metal ball. You know who's gonna get really excited about this? What the? Jeez, this is a cluster. Ugh. Hey, Filia! Look what Dada has for you. Look at that. You want to add that to your collection? Oh, what's going on?
Funnel cake without sugar.
Holy crap. Hello.
The girls made that for Ben and me to share.
What kind of stage of life are we in? We're eating funnel cakes
For lunch.
in the middle of the day. I feel like I'm at the fair.
The water.
We are late on our run. It is 5:07 and we just started. So we're taking the short run from here across here, all the way across there, and across the Purple People Bridge. And then we're gonna go home from there. So hopefully we get home in time for dinner.
Today we had a long day and we're running. Right now I'm really tired because my legs are really like skinny, but idea. We're having rice, beans, and hot dogs for dinner.
There you go, folks. The Filia Cam. We made it, and it is 5:44. It took us about 45 minutes.
7, what the heck?
It is now dinner time, and we are having rice and beans with some hot dogs.
It is time for Tattoo Tuesday. How are you? How are you? Okay, I know we've been going in order, but today we are making a special exception and we are jumping around because we have like a thematic Tattoo Tuesday. Can you see this? I want you to be able to see what's going on here. It goes all the way up here and includes these clouds and this ship right here and our last name right here and these stars right here are a really important element. The year was 2010 and this was a remarkable year for our family in that this year we spent a month or more living in 4 different cities. Kirkland, Washington, Portland, Oregon, Kentucky, and Jerusalem. We were actually celebrating Sukka around this time of year, but more than just celebrating it as a week event, we were learning that Sukka was a lifestyle. So one thing I forgot to mention was at this time, I had been fantasizing about building a dream home for about 10 years. And I had this idea of what this dream home looked like. And it was going to be a $5 million home on Lake Washington, which is just absolutely beautiful in the Seattle area. And it was going to be on the waterfront there. And it was going to have a hot tub in the basement that went up through the center and you could see the moon through the top story. My business was just taking off to a point where I think I might have actually had the money to build this dream home that I had always wanted. And it's in the midst of this year that we live in a 1-bedroom apartment in Jerusalem, 1-bedroom, our entire family, not even an apartment, 1-bedroom total in Portland, Oregon, behind a couch in Kentucky. And God really started to like reformat my brain into prioritizing wherever we felt like He was taking us as a family instead of wherever felt the most comfortable and wherever we could show off. And I got this tattoo because it visualized like what I felt like our family was. I felt like our family was like a ship with sails. A ship is a temporary thing, and the sails are filled with the Holy Spirit, which is kind of the force that takes us wherever on this planet it wants to take us, and we're willing to go there. We believe like following God is the safest place to be, not a home or a city that we grew up in or any place on this earth tied to a geography. The stars are important up here because one of the commandments of Sukka is that when you build your booth, you build it with plant-based material here. See how you can see through it there? In a way that the stars are visible. And the visibility of the stars is important because it's supposed to remind you of God's faithfulness. And I got our last name on there because, not because it was like some family pride thing, but because our family is like the vessel that we took or went with us to all these places. Logistically, this tattoo sucked to get. I think I did it in one giant session. It was like 4 or 5 hours straight. It hurt so bad. My friend Brian gave it to me, who's done most of my tattoos. I don't regret it at all. In fact, I really like it. It's one of my favorite tattoos. It was really weird to get a tattoo that big on me at the time. Oh, hello. Hello. Are you all out here in the dark? Oh, there we go. Hi. Hi. Hello. Oh, hi. Hi. Oh, hi. Hi. Tonight for story time, we are actually hanging out in our Sukka and talking about houses and security and thankfulness and what it's like to look at our homes.
I just showed you the guys hanging out around the fire. I wanted to share a question that someone had for me that I think is a question that a lot of women have. I'm a few minutes into today's vlog and thinking about how I get fairly sad, upset when my husband goes out for what I call man time. But I know that things like him exercising and going out to spend some time with his brother is good for him. So I try not to say anything other than on the odd occasion that I feel lonely when he goes out. I was wondering if you feel like this sometimes or even have felt like this. And if so, what did you find helped you to overcome this issue? Thank you so much for sharing this. I have felt like this before. I have struggled with this before. I have struggled with feeling jealous that my husband gets to do this and gets to do that. And I especially felt that when I had small children. In our culture, there is a serious lack of female connection. And when women become mothers, especially when they're just starting out, when they have just small kids, they feel so isolated and so alone. There's other cultures, and I've seen this in, I don't know, videos or movies or National Geographic or something, where there's other cultures and there's these women like bonding together and doing daily tasks together. And every time I see that, something in me just kind of stirs and aches for that kind of thing. But our culture is so ingrained against that type of thing. We're so independent. So I just want to say that that's just really, really tough. That being said, I think one of the things that is really important for young moms and for older moms is communication. I think it's important for moms to be able to take care of themselves, because if you're a stay-at-home mom, or even if you're not a stay-at-home mom, but you're taking care of this kid and your needs are kind of over here somewhere, but you still have needs and you still have wants, and your husband can't read your mind. So it's important for you to just be able to learn how to communicate these needs. And what's really tricky is to learn how to communicate these needs in a way that isn't attacking or reacting in the moment. Usually what I need to do is I need to wait till the moment has passed. I jot it down somewhere, talk to Ben about this. I'm feeling frustrated about this. And then the next day or whatever, we talk about it and I bring it up. And it's a discipline to do that, I think. But I think it's very, very necessary to do that. You want your husband to hear you because these are really important things. That is a way that I think will up your chances of him really hearing you and not just hearing my wife's attacking me right now. I just also want to say that what really breaks my heart is that I think that our culture has a serious devaluation of mothers and of motherhood. And I think that really wears on us as women and as mothers, because there's this underlying feeling that what I'm doing right now, me taking care of my baby, my toddler, my 5-year-old, my child, is not super, super important. I think we know, okay, yeah, I know this is important, but everything in our society is telling us that it's subpar, that you should go get a job and go earn some money, and then that's more important. Motherhood is just so important, you guys, and that's just something that I had to learn. It took me years to learn that. It took me a lot of kids to learn that, to really believe that. Another really important thing is we decide things together. He doesn't just decide on his own, oh, I'm going to go out on Tuesday night and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. So, figure out what you're going to do because this is what I'm going to do. No, we talk about our week, and our week is very much scheduled out. It's super important that we're both on the same page. It would go the same for me. If I'm going out, I would want him to be on board with it. And lastly, the things that Ben does without me, I believe those things will make him a better father and a better husband. And so I can get behind these things because I actually believe that there's value in them. If your husband is doing things that you don't believe in, that there's value behind them, then again, I would find a way to communicate that to him in a way that he can listen to you. The very last thing I just want to say to you women and you moms specifically is that you're not alone. I've been there. I felt these things. I've had to work through them and struggle through them. And there's hope. There's hope to be able to change your beliefs about who you are and how valuable you are as a woman, how valuable you are as a mother, how valuable you just are. God thinks you're incredibly valuable. And the more I believed in that right there has been the secret for me. The more I have been able to shape all these other things. I am so sorry that our culture devalues motherhood. And I'm so sorry how you have suffered from that. I don't think God devalues motherhood. I think he champions it. I think he thinks it's amazing. It's something he created. So yeah, he thinks it's amazing. My hope for you is that you will one day believe that about yourself. I'm talking to the women right now, and I wanted to challenge you women to think of one need that you have that you haven't communicated yet with your husband, or maybe haven't communicated in a way that he can listen. Challenge you to write it in the comments below and say, this is the need I have, and I'm gonna talk to my husband about this in a way that he can hear me. I think that would be really cool. I think it's hard. I'll say that'll be a hard thing. And that's why I called it a challenge. It'd be also cool to have follow-up and say, hey guys, I did this, and then it'd be so cool for me to see, 10 women saying, I'm doing this, and you guys can keep each other accountable